Hi everybody. This is Amy from Amy Stitchery. Today is Thursday, January 4th. This is Flosstube number. I didn't even look. No, can't have that, right? Let's see. I think I'm close to 100, right? Let's see. You're going to hear Ralph walking around behind me. I am in now my permanent location, I hope. This is Flosstube number 99. So the last time I was here was over a week ago when I did my, it says 11 days, when I did my WIP Parade, my 2024 plans. And I thought I'd pop on to do a little update. I do think, for those of you that don't know, I'm a nursing educator. I teach at a local nursing college. Fancy term is assistant professor, associate professor, professor, whatever. My semester, I go back to work on Monday, the 8th. I think it's the 8th, which happens to be my husband's 50th birthday. So shout out to Matthew. Happy 50th. Welcome to the club, buddy. My spring schedule, I'm trying to think of where I'm going with this. My spring schedule means, I believe what it's going to mean for me is that Thursday will be my weekly update. And we'll talk about what update's going to mean here in a second. And then Sunday will be my shop update into my Etsy shop. So Thursday I will come on and do a Flosstube, update you on my stitching, my knitting, all my making. At the very end of those videos, I will do a shop update, let you know what's coming into my Etsy shop. I'm also going to start putting links down below where you can find me on Insta, Facebook, Etsy shop. I'll try to link things that I talk about to make that easier. I have a notepad here now where I'm going to take notes so I remember what I need to link down below. So yeah, I'm trying to get a handle on my crazy. So if you watched my WIP Parade, thank you. I got a ton of comments. I think I've answered them all. If you're new here because you found me on the WIP Parade, welcome to my crazy. Grab a cup of coffee or tea or water or whatever it is. And of course, because I'm in a new location, my dog's on a whine. For those of you that don't know, I have two dogs. Molly's going to be 14 in February. And she's great. And then I have Ralph, who is a 3-year-old yellow lab that currently has his head in my lap because he doesn't like this new arrangement. And he's just nervous. So if you're new, like I said, welcome along. It is a crazy train here. Always. I'm trying to get a handle on the crazy, but it does look like for the spring semester schedule, so my semester, I go back to work on the 8th. The semester doesn't start until later this month, but I will be here doing an update on Thursdays, and a shop upload will happen on Sunday. So if you're interested in my Etsy shop, I have all sorts of things, adding new types of things every day, having lots of fun with that. So, and having lots of fun with my making. So now you have a view of my actual workshop down here. I'm sitting at my office, which also doubles as my shipping center, which is nice. And what I'm going to do is the same routine every time. I'm going to update you on my cross stitch whips and what I've got going. If you want to see before pictures, chances are I'm not going to edit. So if that's your thing, this is probably not the channel for you. Yeah. If I still say that I'm going to try to edit one of these days. So one of these days I may shock you and there may be before pictures up here. So if you're seeing before pictures, there you go. But we're going to go through cross stitch whips first, update there. I'm going to go through cross stitch haul. And then I'm going to move into knitting. and what I've been working on there, and any haul I might have there. And then at the very end will be a shop update where I will show you some items that are either currently in the shop or are going in the shop on Sunday. So, man, seems like a lot, right? I have to admit, I've been watching Vlogmas, Flossmas during the holiday season, and I'm thinking I'd like to up my game in the whole YouTube channel thing. But we'll see. I'm sorry, you get what you get. I've been running around doing Aerostate, no makeup. That's a normal for me these days, just because I had a reaction several months ago, and ever since then I put makeup on and my skin starts to itch, so I just choose not to. But I have some FFOs to show you first. And if you've been around for a while, I bet you can think of the first one I'm going to show you, because in the last video, the whip parade, I showed you him finally finished. So this is Lost No More. Let me back up here. This is Lost No More. Ralph, go lay down. This is Lost No More. This was a Dimensions Gold kit that I started back in the 90s, and it got stuck in a bin. It had this one corner done, if you're new here. I pulled it back out. Let me shut these other monitors off right now. I pulled it back out a couple of years ago, I think. It could be up to 3 years ago, and started working on it diligently to get it finished. I finished him over the holidays. Ordered this frame on Amazon, which I just think is perfect for him. I finished the back stitching and then framed him myself. No glass. He's hanging in my living room. If I do edit, I'll insert a picture here of where he's hanging. He's hanging right below a picture of my husband and I at our oldest daughter's wedding years ago. But he proudly displayed it, chose where it was going to hang, and I'm super proud that this is done. It was a huge finish for me for 2023, and gave me the finished bug now. So now I'm FFOing things all over the place, and I have solid plans to finish some things in 2024. So here he is. I'm just going to hold him up. I thought I was going to mourn the fact that he was done and I was no longer stitching on him, but I'm not. I'm just proud that he's done and how good he looks. He just looks really good. Really, really good. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm hoping that grabs a screen grab for my thumbnail. Maybe I'll get fancy and take a thumbnail. The other FFO I want to show you, this was part of a chart from Forbidden Fiber Co. called This Is the Way. It was a Mandalorian theme chart, and I made the decision not to stitch the whole chart at this time. I think eventually I will stitch the Mandalorian and frame that separately, and then stitch This Is the Way and frame that separately for a paired framing hanging in my husband's office. That's what I think. But for right now, it's just Goguru. And he's framed in this little black frame. I'm going to give him to my husband right now to put in his office. I'm going to leave this on here so he can just put it on his desk. That's going to be his birthday present. So there we go. He knows it's FFO'd. He has no idea I did it for him. The other things that I FFO'd, and neither one of these have glass. I'm not a huge put glass on it person. That may change when I finish one of my fancier projects. But this is the woodpecker. This is from Cottage Garden Samplings, Year in the Woods. This is a series that I've been stitching along with Gail from Gail's Golden Needle. I stitched it on 40 count Vintage Country Mocha, I believe. And I used the called for, except for the trees. The trees are Flosses from Farmhouse Flossies. You can find her on Facebook. If I find the link for her, I will put it below. So let me make a note. Farmhouse Flossies. Should have a clicky pen. Just forgive the delays. as I make notes to myself, because I do want to get better at putting the links so that you guys can just click on things I find. It's framed really tight right up to the stitching, and I like it. I like it a lot. The other one in the series that I framed was the bear. I just love how they look. I may have to put them up somewhere where I can see them. They're just cute. They're just cute. But there's the bear. This is with all the called for DMC and the Weeks Die Works. And this is stitched on, I want to say it's 40 count Earl Grey by Grace Notes, but I would have to look back in my, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's 40 count gray, Earl Grey from Grace Notes Fabrics that I got when I was in their Fabric of the Month Club. I am no longer in their Fabric of the Month Club. It is not because their fabrics stink, because they are great. They're a joy to stitch on. I just have so much now, and I'm trying to be more conscious. I'm pulling in more Ada now, and I've just switched to another dyer to kind of spread the love. But yeah, there's so many fabric dyers out there now. I kind of want to support all of them, and I just can't. So I'm just going to switch it around and support all of them for a period of time. But lovely fabrics. I have not run in, honestly, I haven't run into any fabric I won't stitch on except the crunchy Ada, if you know what I'm talking about. But he's cute. He's FFO'd. I have more frames back here. You can see them right there. And more pieces that I'm getting ready to frame. I may do that today. Oops, sorry, just knocked you. Not really sure. So let's go into whips. Let me show you first kind of what I was working on prior to the new year, and then we will go from there. So prior to the new year, I just kind of stitched on whatever I wanted to stitch on. Let me see if I can get some of these without causing too much trouble. So the first one I felt like stitching on is one of my Miras. It is Royal Holiday. Oh, hold on. I got a bead thing in here. I'll have to pick that up. It's Royal Holiday by Mirabilia. I bought one of these cards from Jen Lee at Quirks and Stitches on Etsy. I will link her below. Let me make a note. I put one of these cards in all of my whips so I could track on the back what days I stitched on it. I started tracking in January. That's why you see nothing here. This is tracking for 2024. I am stitching this on 28 count Abyss by Fabrics by Stephanie with all the called for. If you've been around here for a while, you know that I had this, I was stitching this on a Valerian gray linen and restarted it while I was camping one summer. I have her on a scroll frame. I'm going to keep her on the scroll frame and hopefully put something behind her, because this is how I roll. So here we go. I put this behind her. I completed the beading of her head. And to answer the question that I'm going to get already, why did I bead? So when I roll her over those beads, I'm not going to roll these tight. I'm also going to put felt over the beads, and I'm going to use the side things to tension my fabric enough for stitching. The beads won't get any damage. But I beaded her head, finished all this. I beaded in here. Beaded, I did not bead there. I think I finished the beading right here. Yep, those have beads. I also worked a lot in this ribbon. Sorry about the threads. This is how I roll because I'm a counting nightmare. In this candle. And I worked on her for several days and just enjoyed my stitching. Really like her on that fabric. Not gonna lie. I'm so happy I restarted her Would love to have her done this year, but I'm going to say that about everything. I pulled out, for those of you that missed my whip parade, go back and watch. I pulled out 24, I think I ended up with 32 or 33 whips. I pulled out 24 to concentrate on this year. I do have the rest in the garage, which is a cubby in my QB storage system, is the garage. They will not be pulled out this year unless I finish something else. So I'm on the 24. Sorry, that thing was jingling, jangling. So if your earbuds in, that probably got you. I do have 24 starts all kitted up for 2024. Will I have 24 starts in 2024? I don't know. When I finish a project, I will have a choice between starting something out of the 24 for 24 bin or pulling something out of the garage and working on that. So that's how my year is going to roll. I figured out with 24 whips, that gives each of my whips about 15 days. Now there's some of those whips that will be done way before 15 days worth of stitching, and there's some that won't be. So I'm kind of stitched. I'm kind of gonna do me and just stitch on what I enjoy. I have 2 projects that I have broken up into 12 parts that will be completed this year. Those you will see because I've started to work on them this year. And the rest are just going to get as much love as I can. What the cards do for me is I can flip the card over and see if I've already stitched 15 days on a project. It means I probably should look at something else and stitch on that so that all those 24 projects get equal time. That's my goal. So what I'm going to show you now is Kringles. I went from Royal Holiday and then spent a few days on Kringles. This is by Little House Needleworks. I started this, I'm going to say this every time. I think I started this May 29th of 2020. I would also love to have this one done this year, but we'll see. I'm stitching this on the called for 30 count Parisian gray with all of the called for floss. And I decided to try to build the house so that I could cut the fabric off. Should have brought one of my boards over. You know, I thought about it and then I didn't. I'm going to have to put one over here if I'm swearing my phone. So this is what I did. I started to build the house. I brought that border down on the one side so I could cut the extra 6 or 8 inches off this fabric. And there you go. It looks good. It looks good, and I'm happy about the progress. So those are the 2 pieces that I worked on up into Christmas and into the new year. Well, up to the new year. Oh, sorry, my eye itches. And I basically, I had one more. So let's show you one more before I take a drink of that coffee. I also declared a snow day stitch this year. So my snow day stitch, I think Gail from Gail's Gold Needle is also calling this her snow day stitch, is Dasher and Dancer by Hobby House Press. I am stitching this on 36 count Cardinal by Bee Stitch Me. I'm stitching mine with DMC 935, Classic Colorworks Bamboo, a Sulky Blendable, and Classic Colorworks Steamed Broccoli. And I will put that color conversion down in the drop box. Sorry, just making a note. In case you're interested. As much as I really like the look of this, my husband's not a huge fan of all red things. So, yeah. So I changed it up a little bit. And I'm going to have to take this out of a hoop because I have it set up because, honestly, it flurried today. So when I get off of here and get done doing things down here and I get to stitching, I will be stitching on this today. It is always such a mess here when I get done doing a floss tube. Can you relate? Again, I'm in Park Threads, so you're going to see Park Threads. This is where I am. Let's see if I can hold this up for you. And I think today what I'm going to do is try to finish this tree that's right here in the center. I say finish. I'm using that term very loosely. That's a lot of stitching in there, and that may not get done today. That was all leading up to Christmas, and then the snow day stitch got more work after the new year, and it will get more work today. So what have I worked on since the new year? Sorry. So I have a group of stitchy friends that I Zoom with on Wednesday night, and some of us have decided to stitch on Autumn Town by Autumn Lane Stitchery and break it up into 12 parts and stitch it over the year. I am stitching mine on a piece of 36 count Valor by Picture This Plus. I have this in a Q-snap. I am stitching this with the called for, well, the DMC conversion, except for the trees. Look at my threads, I'm such a mess. The trees are Overdyed Silks by Bee Stitch Me, and I'm kind of picking as I go. If you're interested in that conversion, let me know. I'm not sure if these silks are still available or not. I have not looked. But I used to be in her Silk of the Month club, and that's where I'm pulling these silks from. So I'm almost to my January goal on this, and then once I am, it will go away until February. And the second piece that I'm going to get done in 2024, Gail from Gail's Gold Needle and I, we started this together on my birthday this last year, and A Forest Grew by Rosewood Manor. And we have broken this up into 12 parts to have done in 2024. I am stitching mine on a piece of 32 count Mushroom by XJU Design. I'm stitching 1 over 2. We started this on my birthday in March. And I do have this on a Q-snap. And this is where I am. So I would say I'm probably several days away from having my needle just hang in there. Several days away from being to my several days of stitching away from being to my January goal on this, but it is early in the month. But that's where I am. I am doing it with the called for DMC. And like I said, we have broken that chart up into 12 pieces to get done in 2024. So last night, I felt like switching to something totally different during my Zoom. So I worked on Pandemic by Long Dog. This was a chart that was free during the pandemic. It is now available on their website. I'm stitching mine on a piece of 40 count Heritage by Picture This Plus with a black silk from Silks for You. Hold on, things are falling. And here's where I was stitching down here last night. So I was doing page finishes and then looking back at the back stitch. I'm really getting more organic about my stitching. So I'm stitching, like last night I just wanted to work on this motif that's here. So I worked on that. This is a needle minder that I got from Stitch North. And then I'm going back and looking at the back stitching. But I do love this. It's going to be big, but I'd like it. It won't get done this year, but I'm hoping to get much farther than it is. In that, I believe, let me take one quick more look. That's the end of my stitching. I only have one piece of stitchy haul because, again, I'm trying to be more intentional. I think that was the word that people used. Yeah, more intentional. But I'm in Be Stitch Me's Fabric of the Month. I'm in the neutral. I'm on Ada, 18 count. And this one is called Into the Veil. It's kind of a green-gray. That's about right. I really like it. Of course, I'm not starting any projects right now. But when I do, I have two beautiful pieces of Ada that I'm going to use. So the next part is going to be knitting. So I'm going to show you what I've been knitting on. I'm really gotten into my mojo with my knitting socks. It doesn't take me as long as it used to. I think my first pair of socks must have taken me about a year. I think part of that was frustration. But you know, it is what it is. The first pair of socks I'm going to show you, they're in a bag made by me. This was one of my test bags, Mimi Stitchery. It did not go in my shop because I did not like the quality of the zipper, to be quite honest with you. So I ended up resourcing my zippers and have a much better zipper. This colorway is called 'Tis the Season. It is from Stitching with Yarn out of Oklahoma. It is 'Tis the Season. It's a sock set. 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Joy to live with. It came with a 100-gram skein of this and two 20-gram skeins. I'm done with the green. That's why it's looking like that. I'm making these socks for my husband. So I have... You're never going to believe it. Ready? Oh, I just dropped it. Hold on. There we go. So I have one sock done. And the other sock will be completed tonight. I'm about 5 rows from the toe. So that will be completed. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. A friend of mine came to stitch with me for the day yesterday. And I told her I'm kind of a plain Jane person, don't like a lot of jewelry, a lot of makeup, but my things have to be pretty. So my socks are wearing jewelry. These are my row markers. If you ever watch Kay from Crazy Sock Lady, that's where I learned this from. And you'll notice I have little metallic shiny ones for the holidays. Counting my rows. He likes a 70 round leg and a 90 round foot is what fits him. So his is almost done. I'm probably 3 rows from doing the toe here. So I'm not sure if I will do that this afternoon or this evening. I usually knit in the mornings and then again in the evenings after my eyes are too tired to stitch or sew. But they will be done today. So that is that. Everything's falling everywhere. My goodness. Sorry, zipper. Then, I think I showed you these before, and I'm not sure if I've done any work on them since. So I wanted to show you them again. Okay, this is a bare skein of merino fingering from Lantern Light. And then I got a mini set from Yarn Love that's called Juliet Sock Mini Skeins, Home for the Holidays. It's by Yarn Love, sorry. And I bought these after I had FOMO from missing out on the Grinch sock set from 3 by the Sea. So this mini, these are the colors of the mini. And I started my own Grinch type sock. Kind of making it up as I go. I don't think I've done anything on this since last time I showed you, but there we go. I've already got my markers here. I do a 25 round cuff, I believe. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it's 25 round cuff. And then I'm doing, I believe they are 10 round stripes with 2 rounds in between the stripes. And I'm just going to go light green, dark green, the light red, dark red. And by then I should be at the heel. And the heel I'm just going to leave in the bare yarn. Unless I find something out of my stash. Maybe a gray mini. That might look nice. Yep. So that's those. And I don't know that I've worked on them since last time I showed you. But I wasn't sure. So I thought I'd better show you. Just in case. And then my husband wanted orange socks. And the yarn that he ordered was DK weight. Not fingering weight, which is fine for socks except for him. He won't wear DK weight socks. So I decided this was Pine Needle Knits. It is pumpkin patch in their Lush DK. So Pine Needle Knits. Here's the colorway. I don't know if it's still available. But I started making a fisherman's beanie for him. So here's the rim. This is a fold up. So I'm working on the top. That's that. And he will like that. That's not going to be done for his birthday. Socks will be. But. And then my son, as you guys know from my last video, if you watched, my husband ended up having COVID over Christmas. Which meant that we couldn't host our Christmas Eve. We couldn't host the Christmas Eve celebration because that's our anniversary with our kids. We couldn't go to Christmas. Our son made the decision. We have 4 kids. Our son made the decision to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with us so that we weren't alone. And then he would not spend it with the family, obviously. So he was watching me knit away on my husband's socks and I said, do you want socks? And he said, I would like socks. So I showed him my stash and he picked out a yarn. This is Smooshy Fingering Weight from Dream in Color Yarn in the colorway Brilliant. So Dream in Color. I got this from my local knitting store. I'm in a small town and I actually have a local knitting store now and a local quilt shop. I'm out in the country in a very small town, and I'm hoping these businesses survive. My town is not known for businesses surviving here, so I'm hoping they do, because I enjoy having a local yarn shop. Anyway, let's show you the color. The colorway is Brilliant, and this is it. Yeah, it's nice. I started these. I'm knitting. So, I usually start the cuff on double point needles, size 1, and then I transfer them to a 9-inch circular, size 1. I've just got the start of the cuff. So he's going to do the same measurement as my husband. So he will have a 20 to 25 round cuff, 70 round leg, 90 round foot. And I have a gray mini that I think I'm going to use for heels and toes. Just because I like doing that. So as soon as I finish my husband's socks, these are getting some love. This one, I actually started the cuff. I think I did 3 rounds on DPNs and then transferred it over. So I was doing 5 or 10 rounds and then transferring it over. Now I did 3 rounds. I just find that on the circular, to start the cuff, more often than not, I end up twisting it. And that's not a good thing. If you knit socks, that's not a good thing. So this has a little snow globe on it. And it has stitch markers made by me. I like them. I just like things to be pretty when I'm knitting on them. So those are his socks. He wants a, I knit some dishcloths for each of the kids, got one to try out for Christmas. And my son actually wants a blanket made out of that cotton yarn for dishcloths. And I'm thinking, wow, that would take a lot of yarn. So I have to look into that now, because he's like, well, forget it then. I said, nah, I'm going to look into it. I'm going to look into it because he wants one. I might have to get a large quantity of that cotton yarn and see if I can't do. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll have to figure it out. He's asked it. I have a little bit of yarn of knitting haul. My daughter got me some DK weight yarn from a local yarn shop. It's from Freedom Book Farm. It is, does it say? It doesn't even say. 100% blue-faced Leicester wool in the colorway oxidation. Can't talk today. But this is pretty. I think this would also make a cool hat or scarf. So I think we might do that. And my husband did get some orange sock yarn. This is Treasured Toes sock yarn from Treasure Goddess Yarn. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, in the colorway Lusty Wench. I just think it's funny that my husband chose yarn. It's a little deeper than it's showing. It's showing really bright there. It's not quite as bright. It looks more like a pumpkin-y orange. So this may have to be a cast on very soon to start his second pair of socks. I also talked to my oldest daughter this morning, who got her first pair of footy socks for Christmas, and she absolutely loves those. So I have her recipe for socks. I actually now have a book for sock recipes, because if you knit socks, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody likes their fit a little bit different, and so I try to do the fit the way they like it. So that is my knitting. Okay, so now we're going to do a shop update. If you've hung around this long, I thank you so much. These always feel really long to me. I said to my friends the other night, it just feels like so long. At some point in my head, I just think, oh my goodness, just wrap it up already. But we're only 37 minutes in. That's really not bad. I have a couple bags in my shop. I have a quilt. I do not have one to show you. Why I don't have that here in front of me, I have no idea. I have a quilt block bag. It's a project bag similar to the one I'm going to show you now, with a top zip, no vinyl. It can be used for lots of things. It can be used for cross-stitch projects. It can be used for knitting projects. It just doesn't have the boxed bottom. It can be used for books as a book sleeve. It's 12 inches square, so I'm not sure, sorry, excuse me, I'm not sure it would fit a laptop or anything like that, but the other top zip bag I have is this. Sorry, I have a tickle in my throat now, obviously, during filming a Flosstube. This is out of some Lori Holt fabric. It has a black top zip. It has a red inside. And I have some of those available in the shop. I have two smaller boxed bottom bags. This one, I'm getting fancier with my zippers now. So the zipper construction's a little different and nicer, I think. And I think my bags going forward will have this construction and be nicer. This has got a nice boxed bottom, nice zipper with a charm. Sorry, got threads everywhere. Nice boxed bottom. Perfect for like a yarn, scarf, or hat or small project. Stands up on its own, as you can see there. On the inside, this is a Tula Pink fabric. And I have several of these in the shop. And the charm you get really just depends on what I have. So not all the bags have the same charms. And this one's all, hold on, there we go. I put the charm on with a light bulb marker, so you have a light bulb marker there. I use light bulb markers a lot. This happens to be a paw charm. The charms are just based on what I have. Not all the bags have the same charms. I might get to the point where they all have the same charms, but I don't know. But zippers are much nicer. So there's that. And then I have that same bag in a drawstring version. And right here is a place where you can put your stitch markers. You could put lots of things there. You could hook a pair of scissors there. Same thing. It has the box bottom. Stands up. It has the all cotton drawstrings to close it up. And then the inside of these is this fabric right here, which is just a small like white floral on a blue background. So these are in the shop. The zipper ones are not loaded up in the shop yet, but they will be once, probably by the time you see this video, these will be up. The other things that I have in the shop are still in the shop are some needle minders. I have quite the assortment of needle minders. I have a couple Harry Potter themed ones. I have a Nightmare Before Christmas ones, which I think I'm going to put my Christmas stuff on sale because I have some other ones in there as well that I might put on sale. I have Star Wars related ones. I have Goguru as well. I have some insect ones. I'm looking up on the wall over here because they're all over here. And I have owl ones of different colors. These are a needle minder, and because they were a pendant, I just added a little charm to the front to make them a little extra special. So these are all in my shop. If you have any questions, just reach out. I will put my email contact information down below. You can also DM me through Instagram, through Mimi Stitchery, or you can send me messages through Etsy as well. So there's plenty of ways. But I have a teal one. I have a green one. Cute. And a pink one. I also have a variety of stitch markers, progress keepers. So let's take a look at some progress keepers. I have a couple of these in different sayings. This one says success. Little progress keeper. I have some angels in my shop. I have some monogram letters left in my shop, so here you go. What else do I have? I have some of these in my shop. These are just stitch markers. They're like a black stone with silver. I'm trying to give you like a view. I have a couple of these. It says love much. And then this is a new set that I just put in this week. This has a progress keeper and stitch markers, and it's meant to coordinate with this bag. And I think that it does quite nicely. There you go. Those are those. And if, like I said, if you have any questions for me, just contact me. It's just something I have fun making, so I thought, why not throw them out there on an Etsy shop? Oh, if you're new here, thank you so much for coming back. If you found me during our work parade, thanks for coming back. Think about liking the video and subscribing if you're not already. It helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And put the click the notification, the bell. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. The bell, because now that I'm doing shop updates, if you're interested in those things, you may want to know when I put a video up. I hope everybody had great holidays. I hope everybody's had a great start to the new year, and I'll sign off now. Bye.